Hi, this is Patrick with Falcon Sails. I was out kayak sailing again. My friend Andy and I had an amazing day on the water. This is Western Lake Erie. We sailed 15 miles from Port Clinton to North Bass Island and then 15 miles from North Bass Island back to Port Clinton. We did this on the same day, sailing our entire route in both directions. The only enhancements to our kayaks are our compact kayak sails. Our kayaks are completely standard. We have no lee boards, no dagger boards, no sailing skegs, no lateral resistance enhancers of any kind. These are 100% stock kayaks, just like the kayaks you would buy anywhere. I want to tell you about this kayak sailing trip because we had so much fun. More importantly, this trip involved a lot of great examples of the things people ask about. I want to teach you about kayak sailing, like sail trim, kayak sailing upwind, lowering sails, raising sails, securing the sail on your deck out of the way, trip and route planning, changing sail sizes, removing your sail at the end of the day, and more. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and ask questions. Here's a chart that shows our track on our way out and our way back. It also shows some information about the wind that day. If you want to take time to look at it closely, go ahead and pause the video. I will include a link below to our tracks that are in Google My Maps. You can zoom in and out and look at them in granular detail and see every move we made on the entire route. Here we are paddle sailing about 1/3 into our 15-mile crossing to North Bass Island at the east end of Lake Erie, and I thought, let's have a talk about it because we're 1/3 into it. We should discuss what we're doing and not just mindlessly stick with the plan. So I suggested we lower our sail and evaluate how we're feeling, how things are going. We're 5 miles into a 15-mile crossing, leg one of our 30-mile day. We lowered our sails and now we're just stowing them on our deck. And you can do this anytime you want, of course, at the Falcon Sail, but this is one time. If there's no wind or too much wind or you don't want to sail for some reason, you can put your sail down. I'm talking with Andy, telling him, look, we're 1/3 of our way into a 15-mile crossing. What do you think? Do you want to stick to the plan? You can always adjust. But he wanted to keep going, so that's what we did. We're going to keep going. We're going to paddle upwind for just a few minutes. If you're ever in doubt when you're paddle sailing, just turn your bow upwind and casually paddle upwind. It can't hurt. It's easy to go downwind, and sailing's all about going upwind. It's a lot more fun to be upwind and stay upwind, but you'll learn about that as you get into kayak sailing. Don't dive downwind. It sounds easy, it sounds fun, but it's kind of boring. You lose apparent wind. We'll go into that some other day. We've had our discussion. We've decided we're going to continue on, and Andy's going to raise his sail, lift the mast tip, pull on the forestay, set his cleat, and I'll go ahead and raise my sail now. It's very easy. I'll unstrap it from the boat. I'll raise the mast tip, pull on the forestay, set the cleat, and since we're on a more aggressive angle of attack, trying to go upwind quite a bit here, and to put in a couple paddle strokes to keep our boat speed up, just to get some lateral resistance going. So there we go, we're on our way. I'm one of these people that enjoys getting close to the rocks. I don't recommend it, but this is a rock formation called the Rattlers at the tip of Rattlesnake Island. And I just like to feel the power of the water sometimes. Got a little nervous. There's one more rock up there to get around. And then we'll be back on our way. Most people avoid these rocks. You don't have to get close to them, but It's kind of fun, I think. Okay, we've turned downwind, so we were working hard to get upwind. We had to do a little bit of paddling to maintain our orientation of the sail and course and everything. And now we've turned downwind for our last leg from rounding Rattlesnake Island to Manila Bay on North Bass Island. I'm going to talk about sail trim. You want to let the boom out as much as possible until it's too loose. Like I'm doing here. I keep letting it out, and eventually I'll see a sign of it being too loose. Like right there, you noticed it was quick. Oh, there was a little bubble in the sail, and I pulled in the boom just enough to get rid of it. So in general, that's what you want to do. You want to let the sail out until you see it's too loose, then pull it in. That is, unless it's really rough and you're not comfortable, then live with the boom being loose. All right. Here we are, 15 miles later. I'm not paddling, I'm sail only cruising here, and we're almost to our typical North Bass Island landing point, a place called Manila Bay, as we've called it, and it's just a good place to stop. We're going to stop there and relax, and then we'll come back. We have to go 15 miles back right now. We should be about 15.4 when we're landed. We're at another 0.7 to go. So it'll be 15.4 out, 15.4 back, and for a total of about 31 miles. Kayak sailing using our Falcon sails. There's no way I'd do this many miles without the sail. It's still a big day, but it's more like, I don't know, much easier than having paddled it the whole way. And a lot more fun. This is definitely the way to go. It's beautiful. We're going to sail, we've sailed here, and we're going to sail back. That's a good thing to do, to pick a place where you sail across the wind, because it makes it easy to go out and back. Maybe even find a wind shift. Hopefully we get a little wind shift to our advantage too. You can see Andy sailing near the shore. I can hear the waves hitting the rocks or the rocky shoreline or beach, and I said this is Manila Bay. It's like a private little place where we've camped here a few times. It's really nice. It's beautiful. And this is North Bass Island at the east end of Lake Erie. And it's pretty much uninhabited. There's like 3 or 4 people that live on this island. I can see a few little breakers that could get wet if I'm not careful, which wouldn't be the end of the world. I'm going to turn downwind, catching up to Andy, and that's my report for our paddle sail here. It was very nice. A lot of miles with our 1 square meter Falcon sails on our Jackson Journey kayaks. Oh boy, here comes, the water's getting shallow, so they're going to break. Not that it's going to be a big break, but it could be a little wet break. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. It's Patrick with Falcon Sails. I'm going to land now, and I wanted to just show one thing to you. I'm landing with the sail up. If the wind's going to push me to the beach, I'm sailing to the beach. Andy brought his sail down. I think that's a small mistake, but it's just more convenient to leave the sail up. The sail continues to push. You might as well get your propulsion. That's what you have it for. And you'll see I'll get out, and our Falcon sail is strong enough that you can literally grab it by the mast base. You don't want to be really abusive with it, but you can give it a pretty good tug at the base, and it's a convenient place to grab this sail or boat, and it's strong enough to handle it. So here we are, we've made our 15-mile crossing. We're gonna have lunch, and then we're gonna get ready to go again. And we're next gonna show you how to change your sail. All right, we've landed, we're on the beach, we're enjoying the beautiful weather, and we've discussed what size sail to have, and I'm gonna let you know the conversation that we have, or the things that go through my mind when I decide which size sail to use. Of course, you use the size sail that you have, but if you have multiple sails, you can pick and choose which one might be ideal or better for the conditions. In this case, when we paddle sailed out, we used the 1 square meter sail. We chose that sail being conservative. Doing a long crossing like that, you might as well go small. We weren't entirely sure what the conditions would be. You can look at weather reports. You just don't know until you're out there. So we decided, let's go with the smaller sail, the 1.0. And the other factor we had was we were going across the wind mostly, but we were actually making upwind progress. So we had to go upwind of where we started, which is harder than going downwind. So we went upwind a little bit on our way to the island, and then when we got there, our return trip would involve a little bit of a downwind advantage. In addition to that, there was a wind shift. We anticipated, that's one of the things that got us out there in the first place. We knew a wind shift was coming. That's one of those things you want to look at with wind, is figuring out how the wind is going to change throughout the day, so you can decide which direction to go so the wind shift works to your advantage. And we just saw one of our favorite runs involving a nice wind shift. And the other thing is, we were out there for 15 miles, and we got a good idea of what the conditions were going to be like. Felt more comfortable with it, so we had a nice advantage in our angle of attack. For a little bit more downwind angle of attack, we had an advantage of a nice little wind shift we were anticipating, and we felt more comfortable. So I decided I want to switch from a 1.0 to a 1.1 square meter sail. A 1.1 square meter sail, it's only 10% bigger, but it's easily 15% more powerful. You can feel the difference, and it's nice. It's nice to have the power, and it just turned out to be a really good choice. I was happy. You'll be happy with any size sail, but if you have choices of sails, it's nice to be able to pick one or the other. So we went to the 1.1.
I think I'm going to change my sail now. Let's go for it. I would prefer a 1.0. Yeah, let's see. It's pretty easy to do. We just open up all these things. Take the sail off the mast. Grab the other one. And then stick this on like this.
Okay, I didn't practice much while we were there. I just had to rush through it, but I took the 1.0 square meter sail off, and now I'm putting the 1 square meter sail on. You slide the mast off, or the sail off the mast pocket, and you attach the boom extension. You snap the mast pocket, snaps, and you're pretty much done. In this case, I made the silly mistake of having my boom pushed up a little too high. There's a thing on the mast called a boom stop. You just push it down. You'll see me do that in a second. But the sail initially looks a little scrunched up. You want your sail to be smooth for the best airfoil shape, the best airflow, and hey, I just like a good looking sail. So I would never live with a scrunched sail like this. So I'm looking at it, I'm not happy. What's going on? I push the boom stop down, and now the sail looks pretty good. Looks great. It's a 1.1 square meter sail on. We've upgraded from the 1.0, and it did make for a better paddle sail back. It was great. So there you go. That's an example of changing your sail. It doesn't take long at all. All right, I'm going ahead and launching now. We have the new sail on, the 1.1. Since I'm going in backwards and against the wind, I put my sail down. And we're just getting ready to go. And one thing that I suggest you do always is test raise your sail on land. And if you're going to go way far from shore before you raise your sail, test raise it again. Just make sure you're not going to have anything that's not how you want it. So there we go. I'm test raising my sail. And I'm going to go ahead and just do one tack on one side and then a tack on another. Sails, there we go. I'm trimming the sail in a little bit to get it full of air. Just trying that tack out. Looks good. And of course I'm just enjoying myself too. It's not like this is something I have to do. But I see Andy's behind me, so I'm just going to take the slow route to get to out of the bay that we're in. There we go, I'm tacking. Going straight upwind now. And I'm going to go on to the other tack. This is not necessary entirely, but it's just what I'm doing. And I see everything looks good. I'm ready to go. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and lower the sail now, because we have to paddle straight upwind for whatever 100 yards to get out of the bay, and sometimes the straight upwind, if you want to go straight upwind, the best thing to do is just put your sail down. And I might not even fold it up in this case, but I guess for demonstration purposes I decided I'm going to fold it up on deck. Now I'm ready to paddle for miles like this, no problem. So here we go. In just a few minutes you'll see us sailing back, making really nice progress. Okay, we made our 100-yard or so paddle sail straight upwind. We're out of the bay, and Andy's raised his sail, and I'm going to go ahead and raise mine. And you might notice that I had my boom a little bit tight. That's not necessary or not a good thing. You want to have your boom loose when you raise your sail in general. It's not a catastrophe. We all make mistakes, but that if it is tight, you'll get more tipping force and less propulsion. And of course you want propulsion, you want less tipping force, and the better habits you practice, the more comfortable you're going to be in windier conditions. And that's just one of those things you try to do. Before I raise my sail, I'll loosen up my sheet line. I just wasn't too concerned, but if I were in really windy conditions, I would make sure my sheet line is loose and trim it in after I've raised the sail instead of doing what I did. But that's just a note about practical, how you raise your sail. Now we're on a slightly aggressive upwind attack to get around Rattlesnake Island up there, and once we're around there we can turn downwind a little bit, and it's going to get to be a lot easier, a lot more enjoyable ride. And we paddle a little bit. Since it's a fairly aggressive upwind attack, we would paddle just a little bit to keep the sail oriented to the wind properly and to keep some hull speed up to get that lateral resistance that gets you that's necessary for the propulsion that the sail can provide. But eventually we're not going to be doing much paddling at all. I'm also paddling just to try and catch up to Andy. You can make upwind progress a little bit, but on more aggressive angles of attack like this, you do have to paddle. When we get around the island, turn downwind just a little bit, and we're gonna have a much easier paddle sail. I mean, we can just sit back and do nothing and enjoy the ride. But for now, we're trying to get upwind around the island. Now we're getting some free propulsion. I'm giving a 2-mile-an-hour paddling effort and going 4 miles an hour, so it's a nice bonus. We made it around Rattlesnake Island, and then we were upwind. We could turn downwind just a little bit once we got around the island, and that little change in angle of attack made such a big difference. So when you're out kayak sailing and you have an obstacle, try to go to the upwind side always, as much as possible. I mean, if there's a clear reason not to, go to the downwind side. But we went to the upwind side, and then we put some money in the bank, so to speak. So we're upwind, we turned down, we took off. You can see our speed, how we accelerated. We knew there was a wind shift coming. We planned it from the day before, and it came, and that helped us quite a bit as well. Well, now that we're deep into this paddle sail, about 7 miles to go, we're just sitting back, relaxing, both Andy and I. You can see Andy looks like he's in a lounge chair, just enjoying the ride. This is really a lot of fun. Well, since we're at the most exciting part of the sail, the kind of sailing that most people like to do, one where paddling is optional. We have the wind to our side and somewhat of a tailwind. I'm just enjoying the paddle, our sail. But I'm paddling hard. You can see Andy up in the distance. He's just sitting back like he's in a recliner up there, and I'm going left and right and up and down and back and forth, and I can do that. When you're sailing, some people think, oh, that means it's easier, you're not going to paddle as hard. Well, you can paddle as hard as you want, and if you start kayak sailing and you really get into it, you're going to do a lot of paddling. You're going to work hard to find great sailing opportunities if you're really into it, and you're going to want to run into situations like this, and sometimes it takes some effort. You don't have to. You can just paddle your normal lines and just go for it and pop your sail when you want to, or just really become an active kayak sailor.
You can see a really nice rainbow back there. Somewhere over the rainbow. And this is beautiful for an experienced kayak sailor. This is what you want. Although I'm seeing rain come out of the clouds here and there, and Andy's pretty happy singing somewhere over the rainbow. Yep, there we go. He's quite a talented individual. And I see another big rainbow. They're like, oh, it's the same big rainbow. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty spectacular. Nice little surgy, surfy thing there. Oh yeah, this is very nice. It's going to be the easiest paddle back. Perfect way to end a 30-mile paddle sail. Good call on this coming out today, Andy. Good call on coming out today. Mirror image of my Falcon Sail insignia. You can just see how solid our sail rigs are. They're carbon fiber mast, proper rigging, good low stretch line, deck support strut, our patented junction ring, our patented universal joint, and we make everything to withstand anything you can stand, our sail can stand. I have a white 1.1 square meter sail here today, and it's a perfect choice. We changed out sail sizes earlier. We had our more difficult upwind leg, and now
when we landed, we decided to change our sails. And I'm glad we did. This is a good choice. It's a reasonable size choice for our level of skill and the wind and the forecast. And yeah, it's August, so the good sailing season's coming up. And there are the dark clouds that are kind of a little scary. I'll ignore those for now. Just keep moving forward. It's too much fun to be concerned right now. Yep, 5.5 miles an hour. Ooh, little nice wave. Oh boy. 6-1. I'll lean into that. If I were paddling, I could have surfed that wave for sure. One thing about having a sail is surfing is you'll catch more waves and you'll stay on more waves. It's a lot, you can get backup wind too if you want to for more sailing, or more surf sailing. It's a lot of fun. Maybe I'll get some surf sailing video. The batteries might be dead in the rear camera, but we'll see what we can come up with. All right, that's it for now. It's Patrick with Falcon Sails. See you on the water. Well, one thing that's kind of a bummer is when you get near the end of your sail and you know it's over with, especially when it's a good one like this. But at least today we had a nice long one and pretty much have it out of our system. Notice, by the way, I left my sail up. It's a good idea. It's good for your sail. If the wind's going to push you and give you some propulsion, take advantage of it. It also helps keep the wrinkles out of the sail. It helps it dry out. And unless it's beating in the wind, like flogging like a flag in a wind, just leave it up. And then also leave it up, hang it on your garage wall. There's a grommet at the top of the sail that allows you to hang it. That keeps it in good shape and ready to go. One of the best things about kayak sailing is the way it helps you meet people, the best people. It's been great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks for being my friend, and thanks for hanging out with me and just being with me on the water. One of many things that kayak sailors like about Falcon Sails is how fast and easy it is to take off your kayak. Here I am at the end of the day taking my sail off. Now I'm very particular. I'm going to coil up all my lines. You can see me coiling the boom vang line, the optional boom vang line, by the way. And that just keeps it nice and neat. This isn't required, but you can learn about coiling from any video anywhere. You're just wrapping the lines up to keep them nice and orderly. Here I go. I'm coiling up the sheet line to keep that neat and orderly. And the next thing I'm going to do when that's done is I will release the forestay cleat. Here I go to do that. Forestay cleats off. I'll hold the sail up just because it's a little more convenient. I'm coiling the forestay line to keep it neat and orderly. And coiling is just something people do with lines. It's one of the beauties of kayak sailing is if you have a good sail, a good proper sail, you're gonna learn about proper sailing techniques. I'm releasing the standing line anchor points. There's 4 of them. They come off very easily. And next thing I'm going to take off the mast base set screw. That comes off super easy. We just upgraded that, by the way. It's a beautiful stainless knurled thumb screw. Comes off super easy. And now the sail is 100% off the kayak. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to roll it up. Unfortunately, I don't have a bag, but your Falcon Sail does come with a really nice Coradura bag that's custom made for it. It would just slide in the bag and be ready for long-term storage. Or like I mentioned earlier, when you get home, you could take the sail out of the bag and use the grommet that's on there to hang it on the wall, which is very good for the sail. Just like you would hang a good quality suit, you want to hang a sail if you can. It's not required. It can stay in the bag. The bag is big enough that it can be loosely fitted in there and stay there for long-term storage. But hanging it on the wall, on the grommet that's on the sail, has the added benefit of they just look great, and you'll enjoy seeing it. It will make you think about kayak sailing, and it'll be ready to go. All you have to do is pull it off the nail that you hang it on the wall and roll it up in the bag and put it on your sail or your kayak. It takes about a minute, and you're ready to go sailing again. Some people just want to make it faster and easier to get on the water, and they leave the sail on their kayak, and that's perfectly fine too. I wouldn't just not leave it rolled up really tight, just loosen it up so that it's not all scrunched up for a long period of time, and it'll be ready to go, and your sail will last for a very long time that way as well. So if you want to get on the water quick, just leave it on your boat for just always ready to go with zero work whatsoever to hit the water. Well, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you've discovered kayak sailing, because it is a lot of fun. I love it. It's added a complete new dimension to my kayaking, and it's replaced my long-term love for sailing. I don't need to own a big boat. I don't need to store a boat. I don't need to pay insurance. I don't need to do any of this. I just love kayak sailing. It gets me on the water, and I love it. And the beauty of a Falcon Sail design is this can all be had for just 3.5 pounds total weight. You can have a sail that is reliable, can handle anything you can handle, and you can lower it in seconds and secure it to your deck in just a few more seconds, so it's 100% out of the way. And you can do regular no sail paddling anytime you want, and then have the on-demand option of sailing anytime you want. It's really a nice setup. It's reliable, and it's a proper sail. It has the mast, the boom, the outhaul, the downhaul, the boom bang, sheet line, everything you'd ever need. You will not outgrow this rig. It can handle anything you can handle. They're very reliable. They're expedition ready, and beginners and experts want the same thing, a reliable rig that's easy to use, that has high performance. And that's what you get with the Falcon Sail. Now, the best kayak for kayak sailing is the kayak that you own and you like. I chose a sea kayak because I like the big open waters. I just happen to be a sea kayaker. If you're a person that likes the short recreational kayaks or fishing kayaks or whatever, those are great boats. Actually, the shorter, wider boats are even better. They actually make better upwind performance. They're more stable. They're easier to handle. So don't worry about what kayak I have. If you have a kayak, you're going to love kayak sailing. And if you want to get into it, Falcon Sails, we would love to help you. We can help you rig any kayak with the sail. Doesn't matter what it is. We've helped people rig thousands of kayaks, so we've seen it all. And believe me, your kayak is riggable and will sail great. On our web store, you can actually custom design a sail and pick all the colors you want, and or you can buy a stock ready to go sail that will ship the same day. And the last thing during the purchase process is we ask you what kind of kayak you have, so that we can make a rigging kit that is perfect for your kayak. We have all the hardware, all the parts, and all the knowledge and everything you'll need to have a perfect rigging kit for your kayak. When the package arrives, 100% of the parts will be in the box for an easy and solid rigging job. All you need are basic tools. This is Patrick Forster with Falcon Sails, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the water.